Rebel Moon Part 2 Scargiver review. So, I gave my word that I would review this movie when it came out um, this week. And because I reviewed the first one. And guys, I didn't hate this movie, but there's a lot of this movie where I didn't like it. It's not that I don't like action movies. I don't like how much Zack Snyder used slow motion and like half of the movie's action, even like the good action scenes. Like there's an action scene at the end of a movie where if he didn't use slow motion, it would have flowed better. But half of a movie, dude, is slow motion. Like the last, I would say, hour of a film is him showing how slow can you make it without slowing the pace down. And I would rather you use slow motion sparingly, not slow motion is your only way to do it. Again, guys, the strongest parts of this movie for me were the lore and the world building, and they left it on a cliffhanger too. They're gonna go find the princess that she supposedly was thinking that the princess was dead. Well, spoiler alert, but she's not dead. So in Rebel Moon 3 or whatever they're gonna do next in this, they're gonna go find the princess. Her, Jaman Hansu, which I'll get to in a minute, because he had the best scenes in this movie in my opinion. The girl with the lightsabers, Nemesis, and all the village people. There is a lot of deaths in this movie, guys. So I'm not gonna spoil who, but there is a lot of deaths. So back to Jaman Hansu. I think Jaman Hansu had the best performance in this movie. Like whenever he was in on screen in this movie, he really brought it, and he was like the guy that I was looking forward to the most, because we didn't really get much of him in the last movie. We got him halfway through. This one we get him through the whole movie because he's training up the villagers. Him, Nemesis. There is a cool fight scene with Nemesis, I'll give it that, where they don't really use... They still use it, but they don't, like... Like, most of the action in this movie, guys, is slow motion. And that is my main, like, thing with it is... Use slow motion sparingly. Don't use it like a crutch. And I feel like, especially in these two movies, Zack Snyder uses it like a crutch. Right? He's like, how slow can I make it? And stuff like that. The coolest action scene in this movie, guys, is, and this is in the trailer, which we shouldn't have put in the trailer, for Rebel Moon Part 2 Scargiver, is when the robot fights. Because if you know the robot, he swore off fighting when the king died, and he fights, he takes an explosive and blows up one of the ships and kicks some ass in his action scene. Which, yeah. And that part wasn't slow motion, so that part was the best action scene. Again, I do not hate slow motion action scenes. I just think Zack Snyder used it as a crutch, not as a tool, right? Like, for example, I love all the Matrix movies. And those movies have a lot of slow motion action scenes in them, but they don't use that as a crutch. They use it as a tool, right? And yeah, I'm very excited to see where it goes. I don't know if I'm gonna review what's ever next for this franchise. I think it's the director's cuts, which is set in its own universe. Which I've said to my dad earlier. I'm like, I think his R-rated version, because these ones are rated PG-13, and if it follows the same path that Snyder Cut did for Justice League, I think the director's cuts will be much better, but I don't know that for sure, so I might review the director's cuts. I might review whatever comes next in the universe for Rebel Moon. If you guys like this review and you want me to review more of Rebel Moon, please let me know by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. And yeah, thank you for watching. Those are my opinions on Rebel Moon. Would I still recommend this movie? If you watch the first one, yes, because it answers a lot of questions from the first one. Yeah, and thank you for all your support, and I hope you have a great day. And yeah, goodbye.